This is Josh Kilroy with the Fair Deal Democrats. Um, Today, I want to talk a little bit about a sensational court case in Northern California against Meta, the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Threads. And they have long publicly maintained they enforce strict prohibitions against human trafficking and child exploitation. But newly unsealed court filings in just the last couple of weeks, combined with testimony in this case from former Meta safety leaders, paints a far different picture. One in which Meta tolerated, overlooked, and even facilitated widespread sexual exploitation of children on its platforms. The result is a staggering indictment, not technically, but morally. Meta's internal choices and policy failures have not merely failed to stop child sex trafficking, they have actively enabled it. One of the most shocking revelations to come from this trial is from former Instagram head of safety and well-being, Vaishnavi Jayakumar, who testified again just in the last couple of weeks that as recently as 2020, Meta operated on a 17 strike policy for human trafficking violations. According to her testimony, an account could be reported 16 separate times for sex trafficking or sexual solicitation before Meta suspended it on its 17th violation. This threshold, needless to say, is extraordinarily high and frankly shocking. Most platforms permanently remove trafficking content immediately, one or two strikes at most. What is more troubling is that Meta has never disclosed to parents and other schools and the public what their policy was. The company advertised a zero tolerance policy while practicing something different. Jayakumar further revealed that in March 2020, Meta did not offer a basic reporting mechanism to flag child sexual abuse on Instagram. Users could report spam, copyright violations, firearms promotion, but not child sexual assault content. She testified that such a report button would have required a minimal amount of engineering work, but her requests were repeatedly rejected. This omission meant that dangerous material circulated with few barriers, and minors had no direct way to alert the company when they encountered abuse. Internal audits cited in the plaintiff's brief show that Meta knew that adult child interactions on Instagram were exploding. For example, Instagram generated 38 times more inappropriate interactions between adults and minors than Facebook Messenger. A single day's account you may follow recommendation suggested 1.4 million potentially dangerous adults to teenage users. Meta employees had an acronym, IIC, which stood for Inappropriate Interactions with Children, because the problem was so pervasive. Researchers warned executives that private by default teen accounts would prevent millions of unwanted adult interactions. But Meta rejected these safety proposals after its growth team analyzed the situation and predicted that such defaults would reduce teen engagement by 1.5 million users per year. Evidence throughout the filing shows that Meta consistently prioritized youth engagement, especially among minors, over safety. Executives saw teens as mission critical, and internal teams explored ways to attract children as young as 10, even though federal law bars children under the age of 13 from the platform. The result was a system in which teams were deliberately kept in engagement maximizing environments. Privacy protections were delayed for years despite internal consensus, and safety team recommendations were sidelined because they conflicted with growth metrics. Teen time on platform was treated as a core revenue driver. As one Meta internal message put it, it's a social comparison app. Get used to it. That's what we want to hear. When these choices intersected, weak reporting tools, permissive enforcement, aggressive teen recruitment, and a recommendation engine connecting minors to strangers, the outcome was predictable. Meta became a powerful tool for child predators and traffickers. Uh, in newly unsealed filing, it was revealed that Meta's algorithms recommended minors directly to suspicious adults and vice versa. Traffickers were allowed to remain on the platform, like I said, through 16 violations. Child exploitation material could not easily be reported by users, and human trafficking operations used Meta's apps to recruit, groom, and sell minors, often without detection. Even after Apple threatened to remove Meta apps from the App Store in 2021 because of these issues, internal safety reforms remain slow and incomplete. The filings also allege that Meta misled Congress about what it knew. When asked in 2020 whether Meta had evidence linking Instagram to teen depression and anxiety, the company responded no, despite having internal research showing clear connections, including a 2019 disactivation study revealing that users who took a week off from Instagram experienced a drop in anxiety and loneliness. Employees themselves, Meta employees, drew comparisons to big tobacco. They worried Meta was hiding data like cigarette companies and intentionally hooking children on the addictive product while concealing evidence of harm. Together, the testimony and the internal documents reveal a company that underestimated predators, overestimated its ability to control risk, prioritized revenue and engagement over safety, and created an environment in which traffickers could thrive. The plaintiffs, 1,800 families, states, school districts, all suing Meta, argue that this negligence helped create today's unprecedented mental health crisis. But more urgently, it allowed thousands of minors to be targeted, contacted, manipulated, and trafficked using Meta's own system. Meta now asserts that these policies have changed, including a shift to a one strike trafficking rule and the creation of teen accounts for Instagram in 2024. You might have seen them, they've been very heavily advertised on their platforms. But the records show that these changes came about only after years of internal warnings, public exposure, and external pressure, not voluntary corporate responsibility. The emerging evidence reveals not a company overwhelmed by an impossible task, but one that consistently chose convenience over protection and profit over children's safety. While Meta publicly insisted it was staunchly opposed to human trafficking, internally it tolerated trafficking behavior, deprived users of reporting tools, and allowed predators to contact children at scale and refuse safety measures that might reduce teen engagement. As Congress considers new regulations, and I'm going to speak to those new regulations in an upcoming episode. There are a whole bunch of them in response to this court case and some other crises that have emerged. But as Congress considers these new regulations, this moment demands accountability. No company should be permitted to prioritize engagement metrics over basic protections for children, and no parent should wonder whether the world's largest social networks are quietly exposing their children to the most dangerous people on earth. So, look, the Fair Deal Democrats, we exist to promote American rejuvenation through a Democratic Party that is revitalized. This is an issue that we should have moved on earlier. The signs have been there for many years that Meta had these problems. It's one that Democrats are taking the lead now in Congress. But we should really start looking at this through a wider lens. As part of, big tech has been around for 20, 30 years, depending on how you want to measure it. It generally takes politicians, the political system, the social system, several decades to figure out how to contain new technology, whether it's railroads or the phones or social media. And we're at that point. And we should be thinking about this comprehensively, not doing this piecemeal, one issue at a time, but really thinking about how social media fits into American life, and in particular, how it impacts our children. Like I said, we have a lot more to say in the coming months on this topic, but we really think that this is something that the Democratic Party should be talking about on a daily basis as part of its core messaging. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a great day.